Good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, people. Fun video for you guys today, now, ladies and gentlemen. The Formula Sports will be picking their 23 Gold Cup squad. See, so this is obviously not the official Gold Cup squad. It is my Gold Cup squad, the Gold Cup squad that I personally will like to see. I will pick the players and explain why they make the Gold Cup team for me personally. All right. We're heading into the goalkeepers now, ladies and gentlemen. Boom! Goalkeepers. Andre Blake, Jamale Wade, Kanaya Boys, Clark. Seen? Now, obviously, Andre Blake pick himself. He's obviously the number one. Jamale Wade pick himself. As of right now, he's obviously the number two. Kanaya Boys Clark is not my number three on merit. Kanaya Boys Clark is a young goalkeeper that makes my Gold Cup squad mainly for the need to cap this player ASAP. See, I'll explain that in a second. For starters, this Gold Cup goalkeeper pool is the most impressive I have seen in a while. So for those who don't know, a number of days ago, the 50-man preliminary squad for the Gold Cup was selected and released, and the Gold Cup squad can only be selected from that 50-man pool, right? The 6 goalkeepers in it, was Andre Blake, Jamal Wade, Kanaya Boyce Clark, also Amal Knight, Kemar Foster, and Corey Adai. This goalkeeper pool is the best I've seen in a while. It is also a very young goalkeeper pool with some young goalkeepers in it that have considerable upside, right? So that is very good to see. And in Jamal Wade, especially as of right now, I see a goalkeeper that can keep Andre Blake on his toes to some extent. Andre Blake needs some competition and needs some players in there to keep him on his toes to even improve his performances to make them better. Since the goalkeeper pool is the best I've seen in a while. Seeing again, Blake weight makes it on merit. Those most people consider to be our top 2 goalkeepers. Kanaya Boyce Clark, in my humble opinion, right now is our 4th choice on merit behind Corey Adai. However, in my humble opinion, the need to cap Kanaya Boyce Clark right now is greater than the need to cap Corey Adai. We need to cap Corey Adai as well, But I think we really need to cap Kanaya Boyce Clark. He is a very young goalkeeper. He is considered to be a wonder boy goalkeeper. The clock is ticking. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of when rather than if this player breaks through to be Reading's number 1 choice goalkeeper. We need to cap him ASAP. He's much younger than Corey Adai. Corey Adai has great upside as well and can go very far. But I think Kanaya Boyce Clark has even more upside and could potentially become a world-class goalkeeper, right? Plus, the England setup, them are pre-Kanaya Boyce Clark, and them rate Kanaya Boyce Clark. They might be trying to convince him to come into the U21s and that sort of a thing. Corey Adai not so much on England's radar at this time. So I think the need to cap Kanaya Boyce Clark is slightly higher than it is for Corey Adai. And I think while Corey Adai right now is a better goalkeeper at this current time, I think that Kanaya Boyce Clark isn't too far off Corey Adai. I think Corey Adai could do a better job if called upon, but Kanaya Boyce Clark can do a fairly decent job as well. And the job that he can do is, while inferior to the job that Adai can do, but not too inferior, if you understand what I mean. You couple that with the fact that the need to cap him is a bit more urgent. That's why Kanaya Boyce Clark makes my top 3. I hope that you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, Amal Knight, national goalkeeper, tremendous experience. Boy, him can't, him get squeezed out. Again, just explain Corey Adai and Kemar Foster. Maria Kemar Foster, he has done well in the JPL this season, and also he has done well when called upon for Jamaica. But, proven, not consistently proven at a high enough level to make this squad. Seen? So we explain the goalkeepers. Up next, the defenders. Right, the centre backs. Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Wes Harding, Ian Frey. Seen? Rupert and Damian Nanalo basically pick themselves. They are obviously the starting centre backs. Rupert is obviously the most accomplished defender in our squad, playing at an extremely high level. Right, real blessing to our national team, real top class, top quality centre back. We don't really need to talk much about him or waste time on him. Nana Lowe, one of our most consistent players in our national team for the last couple of years. So obviously that's obviously our starting two centre backs in my humble opinion. Wes Harding makes the squad. One, he's a tournament player, perfect for tournaments. He can play in multiple positions, centre back, right back, midfield, that sort of a thing. He is a bona fide starter for his club, playing at a high level. He's proven at a high level. He has now played 2 full seasons as a starter in the English League Championship, and on merit makes the team as well. I put him in the team as a centre back. No argument against him playing as a right back. Seen, and again, tournament player. Always a blessing to have players in your tournament squad who can play multiple positions. Ian Frey, the boy needs to be capped. It's as simple as that. Seeing the boy needs to be capped. I don't know. It's kind of sticky if he makes the team on merit. Me personally, me squeeze him in because he is a 20-year-old who has tremendous potential, tremendous upside. Getting game time in the MLS Major League Soccer, very credible, very high level of football, and he is eligible to play for more than one CONCACAF team. We don't want to see this player come into the national stadium 3-4 years from now, representing another CONCACAF team, and come keep out our forwards, and we are predicting and we are said, Jano, look how a couple of years ago we could have capped the youth, we never cap him. Again, 20 years old, young, getting game time at a very high level, considerable upside. He can add value and contribute right now, and also we need to cap him as well. Seeing the players that got squeezed out over these 4, Adrian Mariappa maps down to the ground, him walk on, but Jaja say, I know we need to move past maps at this time. Maybe I have to pick Ian Frey over him. I'm sorry. We need to cap Ian Frey. Seeing other centre backs, Deshaun Bernard is a player that could have made it. I'm sorry, Deshaun. While we need to cap you as well, the need to cap you is not as immediate and not as urgent as Ian Frey. Also on merit, you can't make the team over West Damian or Ethan. And, me never want out of my 4 centre backs, 2 of them are relatively young, relatively inexperienced professionals. Since that's why I only chose 1 and not the 2, not both Frey and Bernard. We'll have opportunities down the line to cap Bernard. As I said, the need to cap him is not as urgent and as immediate in my humble opinion as Frey. Who else? Fitzroy Cummings, boy, JPL players making the Gold Cup team kind of look like a stick in a Fitzroy. You have had an outstanding season in the Premier League for sure. In the local JPL, I've seen a number of games with you, but you're not really proven at a very high level. JPL level not really a very high level. Since you get squeezed out. Who else? Badley Morgan, young, talented. His time will come. The need to cap him is not as immediate and not as urgent. We'll have plenty of opportunities to cap him down the line. And Frey adds more value to the national team right now. Richard King, Maria Tiana, you, but boy, it was close between you and Ian Frey. I pick Ian Frey simply because we need to cap Ian Frey. I feel Ian Frey can probably add similar amount of value to Richard King. Prove not a higher level, certainly. But obviously, King more experience with the national team and has done well for the national team, to be fair to King. But boy, we really need for cap Ian Frey so King get squeezed out. See him? Up next, the right backs, Joel Latibodier, Javian Brown. In my humble opinion, these two players pick themselves, right? Joel Latibodier, a blessing to our national program, a player with considerable upside. We need to cap him as well ASAP, a player who I believe possesses potential that could possibly translate to the English Premier League level. Currently at Swansea City, a big player for Swansea City right now in the English League Championship. Very young as well, considerable upside. Javian Brown, a good amount of experience for the national team now. I know a lot of people won't agree with this inclusion, but to be fair, Javian Brown makes the team on merit. I think Javian Brown gets a bit of a warm time, people. When opposition teams' main point, as a matter of fact, when opposition teams' only point of attack is the right back position with Javian Brown, when players like Chucky Lozano run at him and big baller overlap him and him get doubled up and no help, and I think people have been a little bit unfair to Javian Brown. Is still my baller, and to be fair, though, he does need to step up his game. But I don't see anybody else I don't see any other right back who make this team over him. I would knock anybody for going with Deshaun Bernard, but I go with Javian Brown because Javian Brown has more experience. Deshaun Bernard can play as a right back as well. And I guess I wouldn't find anybody who puts Bernard in over Javian Brown. And I guess the need to cap Deshaun Bernard could be an argument as well to bring him over Brown. But Brown got the nod simply because Brown right now has far more experience for the national team and in CONCACAF football more than a Bernard. Seed. Who else? Who else can play right back in this thing or get squeezed out? Ocean Staple, boy, the JPL thing kind of sticky, man. It kind of sticky. Ricardo Thomas as well, too, as well as Ocean Staple. Good right backs, good full backs in the Jamaica Premier League, but not proven at a very high level, unfortunately for them, so they get squeezed out. Seeing left backs, Amari Bell and Dexter Limbikisa. Amari Bell is obviously the country's best left back at this time. He'll be playing English Premier League football next season. He's a starter for just promoted Luton Town. I mean, we never have to really explain him too tough. His selection basically explains itself. And also, he's a tournament player as well. He can play in multiple positions. He can play as a left back and also as a centre back, especially in a back three that has been proven at a credible level. Limbikisa, while Limbikisa does not make my squad on merit, I had to squeeze him in because the need to cap him is urgent. This is a ticking time bomb who can explode at any minute at a credibly high level. And the need to cap him is urgent, man. This was a difficult decision for me to make. I mean, obviously, the likes of Kemar Lawrence and Gregory Lay got squeezed out, especially to put him in over Kemar Lawrence as starter in the MLS was a very difficult decision to make. I'm not going to lie. But I think Dexter Limbikisa has shown that he's hungry. He will go there and give his all. And his best, while I don't think it is at the level at a Kemar Lawrence just now, I don't think it's too far off either. And when you couple that with the urgent need to cap this boy who has considerable upside, who, one would imagine will eventually at some point, given his current trajectory, break through the ranks with Wolverhampton Rovers, already has made senior appearances for Wolves in the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, etc., etc. So, the need to cap him is very urgent. He could potentially go on to in the not too distant future to be a bona fide English Premier League starter. So that's why he made my squad over Lawrence. We need to cap him now when we still have the chance. Greg Lay, boy, injuries this season with Greg Lay, and also is not a starter at his club. While I rate Greg Lay, given what has transpired with him this season, Lembekisa over Greg Lay, was a simpler decision to make, unfortunately, because of Greg Lay's, situation and circumstances this season. Who else didn't make it at left back? Ricardo Thomas can also play left back as well. He got squeezed out as well. Yeah. By the way, the right backs, I didn't talk about one right back that got squeezed out as well, Alvas Powell gets squeezed out as well, By Alvas at right back, boy, I can't get out the Mexico performance out of my head, where you literally dash with the thing for the Reggae Boyz in them final minutes in a breaking. Boy. And right now, I think Javian Brown is ahead of Alvas to me personally. I think Javian Brown is a better, more rounded player than Alvas. And Javian Brown is also a tournament player as well, can play right back and can also play as a centre back. Seeing boy Alvas can't get out the Mexico performance where you sell way out Alvas and give away the 2 goal them star, Jaja. Mariapa as well can play right back. We need to move past Mariapa at this time as well. My rate maps down to the ground him walk on. But, Maps are get up in age right now, man. Maps, big up yourself, Maps. Rate you big time. The midfielders now, boy. Such an easy midfield to pick, man. I mean, the midfield basically pick itself, and trust me, that wasn't a compliment. That's not, I know because the midfield players them good, why I say that. Seeing John Russell at CDM basically pick himself. He's basically the only player who is a, proper CDM at this current point in time. Seeing so, John Russell basically pick himself at this particular point in time. So, the CDMs was easy for me personally. The backup CDM and could even be the starting CDM as well, people. I know so this surprised a lot of people. Michael Hector makes my team as a CDM. Michael Hector is a tournament player as well, can play centre back, can play CDM. I've seen Michael Hector deliver good performances in the championship and also for the national team in the past. As a CDM, I think he is a very good player at CDM. He could possibly even start at CDM for me and play Russell as a central midfielder. So Hector makes my team as a potentially starting CDM or a backup CDM. A lot of people cuss Hector's mobility in the last Gold Cup as a CDM, people. I think that had more to do with the role that was ascribed to him by Theodore Tapper Whitmore versus the player's actual capabilities. I saw him play as a CDM in the English League Championship after that Gold Cup for Fulham and looked pretty mobile to me. Seeing his range of passing as well is mightily impressive. If you have caught any of his performances at Charlton Athletic this season when he signed for them mid-season, that's another thing, he's getting game time now. If you caught any of his Charlton Athletic performances, he would have reminded you about his range of passing. Seeing the central midfield position, boy, a lot of people talking about how bad the CDM position is. The central midfield position is probably even worse, Right? People, Morrison and Speedy pick themselves. And I know because them are no big star baller. Seeing Morrison and Speedy are the only players in this team apart from Russell that I see that can play central midfield, that has played central midfield at a credible level. And that's just basically why Morrison and Speedy make the national team. Speedy, to be fair, has been a steady Eddie. Right, what Graham Souness calls a steady Eddie. He has been a steady Eddie for the national team over the past couple of years. But in an ideal world, we'd want, more quality at that position. But, Murray Speed is still decent ball. And Ravel, Ravel, I think is better though, is a better number 10 than number 8. But hey, he makes the team. We have to find a place to put Ravel in it. We couldn't pick a team and leave out Ravel, even though he's not getting a lot of game time he's not getting any game time this season. Attacking midfield, Daniel Johnson, Omari Hutchinson. Obviously, we need to cap Omari Hutchinson ASAP. Seeing that goes without saying. And again, these 6 players, outside of these 6 players, I don't see anybody else in the squad that can really trouble these players. I don't see anybody else who could make it in the squad in any of these respective positions over any of these players on your screen right now. Seeing Delano Splat, very young, very talented. His time will come. Delano Splat's time will come for sure. Not an immediate need to cap the player right now, but a player we need to cap as soon as possible whenever we get the chance to do so. Demario Phillips, I'm like a baller still in about ball the JPL thing not proven at a high level. Lamar Walker, I'm like a baller too, but Lamar Walker does not make this team and merit. Kevin Lambert, merit Kevin Lambert as a centre back, not as a CDM or a central midfielder. And that's basically it. That is basically it for the midfielders. A weak and, thin midfield pool to select from. All right, the forwards on your screen, them basically pick themselves as well to Leon Bailey, Bobby Reid. Them are Leon Bailey, Bobby Reid for the right wing position. Bobby Reid can also play as an attacking midfielder as well. I mean, 2 English Premier League starters for the most part. Obviously pick themselves. And because of the level that they are basically starters at, the likes of a Kahim Paris would get squeezed out. The likes of a Dujan Whisper Richards as well, couldn't possibly make it over those 2. Ronaldo Cephas as well had a very good season this season in Macedonia, but can't make it over Bailey or Bobby Reid. Left wing, Demarai Gray obviously picks himself, the big new addition to the national team scene. And Jamal Lowe, his backup at left wing. I mean, Cephas could play there as well. Jamal Lowe proved not a higher level than Cephas, so he makes it over Cephas, even though he hasn't had the best season, this season, Jamal Lowe. He also makes it over Junior Flemings as well. He's proved at a higher level than Junior Flemings. So, that's that. Proved at a higher level than Daniel Green as well, Jamal Lowe. So, that's that. Don't see anybody else here. So basically the left wingers pick themselves as well. Mikel Antonio and Shamar Nicholson for the strikers. Mikel Antonio obviously picks himself as well. The center forward that is starting at the highest level for the Reggae Boyz just won the UEFA Conference League as well with West Ham. And Shamar Nicholson, has not scored a lot of goals this season. Was a starter in the first half of the season, played okay, never really scored a lot of goals though, even though he played okay. In the second half of the season, he got relegated to a bench position, a substitute position. Who else? Who makes the squad over Boza? Seeing not at Atafari by Grave, proven at the JPL level, way lower level than Boza has been proven at. Same thing with Colin Anderson. Corey Burke could possibly trouble Nicholson. I wouldn't really wrong no man to select Corey Burke over Shamar Nicholson, but Shamar Nicholson at this time gets the edge. More rounded forward in my humble opinion than Corey Burke. And obviously, you know, Burke makes it, not Burke, rather, Nicholson makes it over the likes of a Trevante Stewart. Seeing? So, you know, this is my Gold Cup squad. Ladies and gentlemen, hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This is my personal Gold Cup 23-man squad. You rate the squad, you don't rate the squad? Hit me in the comment section. Let me know. Even go ahead, feel free to drop your own squad. See, knock up the like button, subscribe, and share. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.